A very good morning to all of you children. So today we will study the sixth part, or we can say the last part of our chapter states of matter. In this part we will study about solution. Children, solution is a combination of two important substance, that is solute and solvent. As you can see in the picture, in a beaker, this is a solution which consists of two substances. One is solvent and another is solute. As you can see, the solvent is in larger amount whereas solute is in lesser amount. Simply we can define solution as a mixture of solute and solvent. Alright, now you would be asking me, what is a solute, what is a solvent, isn't it? Yes, we will study them in detail. So children, if I ask you to make a glass of water sweet, how will you do so? You will say that, ma'am, we can add sugar in it. Simple. So if you take sugar and add in a glass of water and stir this water for some time, after stirring, after few seconds, can you see the sugar in the water? No. So where the sugar got vanished? Children, as we have already studied that the molecules of water which is in liquid state are loosely packed and have spaces between them. When the sugar is mixed in the water, the molecules of sugar fit themselves into these spaces. On stirring the water, sugar gets completely dissolved in the water and thus we cannot see the sugar anymore. However, the molecules of sugar are present in the spaces between the molecules of water. This is also the reason why there is no increase in the level of water in glass when sugar is completely dissolved. If I ask you that if you put a spoon in a glass, or if I ask you to put 5 teaspoons of sand in a glass, you will notice there will be a rise in the level of water, isn't it? But when you add 5 teaspoons of sugar in a glass of water, the level of the water remains same. The reason is that we already discussed. Now, definition of solute and solvent. Children, you also need to write this in your copy. Just pause the video and you can note it down in your copy. Alright. So, solute and solvent. Children, solute is a substance that is used in smaller quantity and mixed with more of another substance. It is known as a solute. Whereas solvent is a substance that is used in larger quantity in the solvent. So now there's a question for you. If you take a glass of water and if you put 5 teaspoons of sugar in it, which one is solute and which is solvent? You can easily say that the amount of water is greater than that of sugar, so water is the solvent whereas sugar is the solute. Similarly, in case of a salt solution, salt is the solute and water is the solvent. Now we will study about soluble and insoluble substances. Children, do all the substances get dissolved in water? No. If I ask you to put sugar in the water, it will dissolve. If I ask you to put milk in the water, it will get dissolved. But if I ask you to put some pebbles in the water, will the pebbles get dissolved? No. If I ask you to put some pencils or sand or oil in the water, will it get dissolved? No. So, soluble substances are the substances that can be dissolved in a solvent. But in case of insoluble substances, these cannot be dissolved in the solvent. So you can easily name many more examples of soluble and insoluble substances. So children, here we complete our chapter. Now, here are the question answers which you need to write in your copy. The first is differentiate between solute and solvent. We have already discussed that solute is used in less quantity, whereas solvent is used in more quantity. Solute can be in the form of solid, liquid or gas, whereas solvent is mainly in liquid state, but it can be gaseous as well. It changes, solute changes its form and loses its original characteristic, like when we add sugar in the water, the sugar particles get dissolved, they are no more visible, so their original character gets loose. But in case of solvent, the form does not change, but yes, there is some change in the original characteristic, because the water which was tasteless earlier will now become sweet in taste. Then define solution, which we have already done. Then another is what will happen to the level of water in a glass when we add salt in it. As we have already discussed, that the salt molecule will occupy the space in between the molecules of water, and it will get completely dissolved, hence there will be no rise in the water level. Now there are two give reasons. Again, this one is similar. When you add sugar to water to make a sugar solution, the volume of water does not change, as we have already discussed it many times. I think you know the answer. Next is, if you have naphthalene balls in the open, they become smaller in size after few days. Why is it? As we have already studied that naphthalene balls are, yes, they are sublime in nature, and hence they will directly change into water vapor, they will directly change into gaseous state without passing to the liquid state. All right, so children, all of you complete your work in your copy, and take care of yourself. Thank you and have a good day.